Honorable Justice Yonet Cummings Edwards, Chancellor of the Judiciary of Guyana Acting, Her Excellency Lillian Chatterjee, High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana and Suriname, Ms. Gloria Richards Johnson, Jurist Project Director, partners, stakeholders, and customers of the court, members of the public, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Just before the COVID-19 pandemic hit Guyana, members of the judiciary at all levels, along with members of the Bar Association of Guyana and the Guyana Association of Women Lawyers, and Ms. Alison Ali, Jurist Project Coordinator and Communications Specialist, were working together in a public education and engagement working group. This working group, along with a consulting firm hired by jurists, was in the process of developing public education campaigns designed to build public trust and confidence in the judiciary and the judicial system.
If the public doesn't understand the value of the judicial branch, they will not be willing to support it through their taxes and other funding, or serve their role on juries, or trust the decisions that come from the system. And a lack of trust and support in the system has grave consequences. Educating the public about what courts, judges, and lawyers do needs to start at an early age. We have to make our legal system and the judiciary real for the public. It is for this reason that I must once again commend Guyana's judiciary for launching this creative public education program we are launching today, which seeks to assure the citizenry that the wheels of justice keep on turning. Despite being in the throes of a global pandemic, the program uses different tools and communication channels to ensure that the message of "we can hear you and we are working for you" can be heard throughout all segments of the population and engenders trust and confidence in the judicial system. A strong judiciary is one that listens to those they serve. And I'm thrilled to see Guyana's judiciary using different means to reach and serve the public more effectively. Social media platforms, mobile courts, and recording equipment are tools being employed in Guyana right now that help make the court more accessible. I understand this program includes and involves all actors in the sector, from the Bar Association to the Chief Justice. This will help to ensure the key message of this program, "We can still hear you," will be heard far and wide. Congratulations to the Chancellor and the entire Guyanese judiciary for their commitment to the people of Guyana. We look forward to continuing our partnership in making justice more accessible and transparent for everybody. Thank you.
The Jurist Project prides itself in listening to the needs of its many stakeholders, and this is the reason why we are here today. The launch of a public education campaign, together with the Guyana Judiciary, to ensure that the public is kept informed of happenings of the court during these times, is of critical importance. It is also part of a wider engagement campaign. We have heard the call of the judiciaries and our many stakeholders who recognize that there's an urgent need for us to start engaging in a more meaningful way with our varied target audiences in each territory. It is in this regard that we are working towards developing the capacities of judiciaries to undertake public education and engagement initiatives and programs that will redound to the benefit of all judicial and justice sector stakeholders. Additionally, we are supporting campaigns like "We Can Still Hear You" to ensure that you remain informed of the services of the court and the mechanism being employed to keep you safe.
The COVID-19 pandemic presented the courts with a considerable challenge to ensure that we kept providing the judicial and other services required by citizens while keeping everyone safe. As you have heard, we took steps to limit access to registries and offices across the country at every level the Magistrates' Courts, the High Courts, and the Court of Appeal. Even with the limited access, it was necessary, especially in the early days, before everyone was aware of and practicing the protocols for COVID-19 safety, to ensure there was clear and adequate signage at all of our buildings. Social media was a critical part of the suite of actions that we embraced under this campaign to reach our stakeholders and citizens as a whole. The COVID-19 pandemic also provided the impetus for immediate action to be taken. On our website, under this project, we quickly launched supremecourt.gy to provide general information and to implement an e-filing mechanism.
Unprecedented in modern era, the COVID-19 pandemic potentially sought to disrupt the delivery of justice to our citizens. It made it difficult for matters to be filed, for cases to be heard, for decisions to be communicated, and for remedies to be implemented. It prevented persons from accessing the courts because of the national stay-at-home and curfew orders. It also prevented members of the public with interest in this justice system from gaining physical access to the courts. Conscious of citizens' needs, the Supreme Court of Judicature of Guyana took swift action to ensure that these matters could still be heard, so that justice was neither delayed nor denied. We ensured that even though one had to maintain social distancing, there was no legal distance between you and the court and your matter to be heard. There was no legal isolation either. Our judicial officers, our judges, commissioners of titles, magistrates, and registrars worked remotely using online platforms or in physical courtrooms, depending on the circumstances of the case. These virtual hearings provided a clear segue to the virtual campaign. The virtual campaign launched today underscores the need to keep everyone informed. As we work to keep the wheels of justice turning through the use of Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Skype, GoToMeeting, and other online platforms, there was immediately evident the need to ensure that citizens were aware of this fact. There was the need for citizens to be aware also that their access to justice was not compromised and that the work of the court was ongoing. Through our partnership with the Judicial Reform and Institutional Strengthening Project, the JURIS Project, which is funded by the Government of Canada, we were able to quickly develop and implement a public communications campaign themed "We Can Still Hear You." This campaign sought to give citizens everywhere the assurance that COVID-19 notwithstanding, access to justice was still important and could be realized.